Yo, ho, Don Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Don Mafia Report. Mario, I'm not sure if I told you, but I am done with recording videos. So I told you that yet?
No, yeah, I haven't heard that one yet.
I'm done. I'm done, bro. Editing has become such a fucking pain in the ass that every single, from now on, I am going live. So Don Mafia, you're just going to have to deal with my ums, uhs, and super long, awkward pauses. Not perfect. I know that you guys probably thought that I was a linguistic genius. Posting videos, not the case. Okay, 15 minutes raw footage, boiled it down to 8 minutes. Everything. Maybe I'll get better. But anyway,
I know that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am lucky enough to have my good friend Mario from #Sports over here. I always like bringing people that are smarter than me onto these streams. So my content gets better, right? So that's typically what I always like to do. And today, Mario and I, we are going to be legitimately going through just about any different scenario that could happen after Week 18. Definitely a lot of super exciting things. Mario, first off, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I was actually on with Dear Pats Nation yesterday. Ray, we go every Wednesday over on his channel. We have the typical Patriot Bill back and forth, battle. But we talk about other things in the NFL as well on his show, Talking Football with Ray. And then, we have our Friday night tailgate. Things are going good. We're going to have Joe calling the game on Sunday. Flex to 425. I think that's a little shitty.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I was reading something saying that they did it because those games are really the only game that have any type of significance. Because the Pats in Miami got flexed before as well, right?
I see. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if they got flexed or whatnot. But the thing was, I thought that New England and Miami were originally playing, because that puts a different paint job on it. They were playing at 425, and the Bills were playing at 1. So therefore, let's say if the Bills won, New England has no reason to play anybody. Their position doesn't matter. So you wouldn't get good quality football, and that's what the NFL wants for all the 18 weeks.
Got it. So if anything, this is fucking the Patriots.
Yes.
Got it. Well, I mean, you know what? I'm never gonna complain when the New England Patriots get screwed in any capacity. So I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But yeah, I mean, you and I were chatting a bit backstage before we ended up going live, and right as it sits, what I want to do is I kind of want to go through some of the big boys over here, ladies and gentlemen. The playoff machine.
Playoffs?
You talking about playoffs? Oh man. If any of you ever want to fuck around with this, you can find it on ESPN. Just simply Google ESPN playoff machine, and you can legitimately go through any type of different scenario that you would like to see, because I know all of us are wondering who the hell are the Bills going to play the wild card weekend. Mario, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure last time I saw this was back even before week 17, there was a 60% chance that we were playing the Patriots. That's the favorite statistically.
I think it was 36 as of Monday. It was 36%, which was the highest one. And then it was 27. You're playing Indy, 26.
Okay. Oh, no. Hey, listen, that's okay. My channel is completely fine with special guests. You really need to go on ahead and then knock it out. So I think the first scenario, what we wanted to do is we just wanted to go on ahead and just say, hey, let's go on ahead and just pick the overall favorites.
Yeah. So as it currently said, obviously Tennessee's the number 1 seed at 11-5. You got Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Buffalo rounding out all the division leaders. And then another AFC West team with LA, Indy, obviously in there, and New England. It's, the thing that I thought was really awesome, Dan, is the fact that, when the New England was going on their run of the 20 years, the AFC East was not competitive. It was like the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets were playing for the wild card all the time. It wasn't competitive. But now, I mean, look, you're going to have 2 10-win AFC East teams already. If it was a standard 16-game season, they're already there. They're there. So at least it's a competitive AFC East, which is what I love to see. So let's say all the big dogs win. So we're talking about Kansas City versus Denver. We're talking about the Bills versus the Jets, Bengals versus the Browns, New England versus the Dolphins, Tennessee versus Houston. We have Indy versus Jacksonville. And then this is the toss-up, though. You picking Raiders or the Chargers?
Oh man, I would say that's probably going to be the most exciting game of the week, and I think that's the last game of the entire regular season. Dude, I'm going to have to go with the Chargers.
All right, let's pick them both. Let's see, because we're going through some scenarios. So we picked the Chargers. Currently, all the teams that are in the playoffs win. What happens? Nothing changes, obviously, right?
Nothing at all.
Nothing will change at all. So if we flip that last game, which we're kind of teetering on, because Raiders just beat Indy, let's not put that behind them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they win, they're in. If they win, they knock out their AFC West rival.
It's big.
They knock them out. So that's a win or in game. But did you hear the thing about if
they tie?
If they tie, they're both in and they knock Indy out?
Wasn't the Jaguars supposed to beat the Colts in order for that to happen as well?
I think so.
Okay.
Let me see if.
Yeah. Let's just throw
the Jags win and they beat the Colts. Pittsburgh's in.
Pittsburgh's in. Oh man, the entire city of Pittsburgh is going to be going insane.
So if they win, let's originally do the San Diego one though. If San Diego win, then it really comes down to the Raiders and LA. Whichever you got to win and you're in. You win and you're in. That's basically how it works.
Got it. So essentially, that scenario. If all of the big wigs win, nothing changes. We're playing the Patriots like we should be already.
Yeah, you're playing the Patriots. Now, if there are upsets, now let's just go. This is going to be fun because this is why they have these simulators. Are really fun. That requires Cleveland to win too. Yeah, that's right. So let's go with all the upsets. So let's say Denver beats KC.
Okay.
The Jets beat the Bills. Cleveland, Miami, Houston, Jacksonville. Is this going to be the same thing as well? So if everyone loses that's currently in the playoffs, let's say. This is what happens if everyone loses that's currently in.
We don't change at all.
No, wait, what? I got to pick the Pittsburgh game now too. Wait, where's the Pittsburgh game? They beat the Ravens. Let's say they beat the Ravens. So now everybody loses. Everyone gets upset, but Pittsburgh wins, they're in. If Pittsburgh loses, are they still in? Let me see if Pittsburgh loses, are they still in? No, Indy's in.
Wow, this is a
dumpster fire, isn't it?
This whole AFC is an absolute cluster. And I mean, I was curious to see if both the Bills and the Pats were to lose, what exactly the
this to me is the likely scenario that I want, though. You got the Raiders coming in.
Oh yeah,
I would take that. And New England goes to Cincy, let them knock each other out. And you got Kansas City and Indy. So, I mean, I'm happy with all them just knocking each other out. I don't care.
So here's my thoughts as well. Has there been any reports that Kansas City is planning on sitting starters? Because I know that Cincy, Joe Burrow was quoted saying that he's not expected to play against Cleveland.
I don't think so. Because if the Bills win,
the second seed, what's that scenario?
The Bills win and Cincy wins. Look, and New England wins. No, they can't. Kansas City already clinched it, so they're going to have a home playoff game. I want like this. So basically, if everyone gets upset,
with
except for the because Kansas City the Bills hold a tiebreaker over Kansas City, but not Cincy. Cincy has a better AFC record in the conference. So that's why when Cincy won, look what happens if Cincy wins. They have a chance to take over the top seed. Like, are you serious now?
What's going on with the AFC this year?
What's going on with the NFL, Dan? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the fact that like every week you could pinpoint a good team, like a double-digit win team, just having a stinker. Obviously, the Buffalo Bills was the Jacksonville game. You could point back to New England losing to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
You could point back to a lot of these teams. Who did Arizona lost to somebody that was like, what's that?
And the Texans.
They lost. Did they lose to the Texans? Oh my God! But those are some of the crazy things that have been going on. I mean, Arizona is funny. They were the first seed. Now they're the fifth. That's hilarious to me.
Yeah, they just had an absolute. Yeah, who knows? Well, I mean, honestly, it's funny because I feel like I was talking about this with one of my buddies a couple of weeks ago, and this was before like the last leg of the season, and we were talking about it, and I was just like, "Tell me who the best team in the AFC is." You don't know. No one knows who is good in the AFC with how inconsistent it's been so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the Lions. They lost to the Lions 30-12. The Cardinals. That's even more. That's even
Seriously.
more embarrassing.
Okay, so let's try to snap back to reality here. We think Tennessee's going to beat Houston.
Yeah.
Indy's going to beat Jacksonville. We're picking the Chargers in this scenario. Bengals beat the Browns because the Bengals will have a number 1 seed to play for if crazy stuff happens. Those are all 1 o'clock games. So wait, Dan, let's do this. Let's do this for right now. Look up the 1 o'clock games. Kansas City, I believe, is 1 o'clock. Cincinnati's 1 o'clock.
NFL week 18. Okay.
Because what I'll do is let me refresh this, and I won't pick anyone. I'll go in order of the actual games and when they're played, and we'll see how it changes each game.
The Chiefs Broncos play Saturday at 4:30. And
Saturday at 4:30. So the Chiefs win.
Yep.
We'll leave it like that. Now, the Chiefs win on Saturday. They're in the number 1 seed before anybody else plays.
Yep.
Okay.
And then, so sounds like Pat Mahomes is probably going to be starting because they're playing for the number 1 seed. So they're probably going to be full force until they're up a little bit.
Yeah.
The Bengals and the Browns play at 1. It was just announced on ESPN that Joe Burrow is not playing. So if I'm a gambling man, I have a feeling the Browns end up winning that game.
All right. Well, let's go with your scenario. So the Cleveland wins. We got to pick one for the
shit.
For Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I'm going to say in a farewell season, I'm going to go with Big Ben. I'll just go with Big Ben.
Okay. Let's pick the Steelers.
Let's pick the Steelers. So as of right now, nothing really changes. Buffalo's now in the 3rd seed.
I don't like
after that happens.
Yeah, but I don't like the Colts matchup at all, but here we are.
All right. So that's any more 1 o'clock game. We know the Bills and the Jets. Bills, Jets, New England versus Miami. They're going to play at 4:25. How about Tennessee and Houston?
Tennessee and Houston is at 1, and so is Jags Colts.
Okay, so we'll take the big dogs for that one. And you said the Bolts game versus the Raiders is the last game played, correct?
No. So the Colts and Jags play out at 1.
Oh yeah, no. I was talking about the Chargers and the Raiders. They play last.
Okay. Yeah. The last game at 8:20 is the Chargers and the Raiders.
Okay, so this is the scenario that comes out by the time the Buffalo Bills and New England Patriots play. This is what the scenario is going to be that we've projected so far. So Tennessee won, end up taking the number 1 seed away from Kansas City. Cincinnati lost to Cleveland because Burrow's not playing. We assume LA ends up top. We're not going to pick that game yet. So if you're Buffalo and you're in the 3rd seed playing Indy, do you play your guys
for that final game against the Jags?
No. I'm talking about against the Jets. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, at that point, no.
So you're guaranteed. Let me see. If the Bills lose,
let's say that we lose and the Pats win. What's that look like?
Buffalo goes to New England.
We go to New England. I mean, honestly, and the way Josh Allen plays on the road, I think I would almost prefer that.
Exactly. That is true. But that's what you start talking about, the implications and why those games were flexed. Now it forces the Bills and New England to play all their guys. Because New England, depending on the scenario, I believe, New England could still overtake the number 1 seed. And I think the worst they do is like a 5th or 6th seed.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So they're in the playoffs, obviously. Buffalo can go anywhere between 2 and 6. That's their window. But they want to play a home game. You want to play a home. That's realistically speaking, you want to play a home game. So we'll go Bills and Pats when you put that in there. Now look what happens.
What about so Miami and they pull off the upset?
So if Miami pulls off the upset and the Bills beat the Jets, now the Bills are the 3rd seed. And New England comes to you instead of Indianapolis.
So we're playing the Pats regardless.
Well, let's play that. Let's do that. I got to do the last game.
Chargers.
Yeah, so Chargers win. So you have 7 10-win teams in the playoffs. And you know the interesting thing about it that I love, and I love seeing this stuff. You got divisional matchups in the wild card. That's cool to me. I mean,
Yeah.
that to me is really cool.
Yeah.
And you got Tennessee, and is Cincy the only team from that division that's in the playoffs? Yep.
Looks like it. And a lot of talking heads right toward the beginning of the season were saying that they were going to have 3 teams in the playoffs this year. So, wow. Look at that. Look at that.
I mean, at most they could have 2, I believe, with they could either have Baltimore. Some of the scenarios we had, I think Baltimore snuck in as the 7th seed, or Pittsburgh can go in. So it's fun to do this stuff to try to see where the Bills will go. They can the highest, but to just kind of break it down for everybody, the highest they can go is the 2nd seed. The lowest is the 6th. New England could be the number 1 seed. Like if upsets galore happen,
Upsets galore.
upsets galore. Let me see if I can get them all in.
We need the Jags to beat the Colts.
There's your scenario.
Wow. So there just needs to be an absolute ridiculous upset.
Oh, there has to be everybody has to lose except for New England, and then they get a first round bye, and then Pittsburgh. Now let me see. Does Pittsburgh? See, it would be Baltimore or Pittsburgh that will come in. That game will decide that if everybody loses. So Buffalo will be 10-7 going to KC where they have won before. So like you said, it's interesting to try to have that scenario out. I think this is worst case scenario for the Bills, having New England with a bye.
Me too. And of course, to them actually, and so winning the division, which would be fucking terrible.
Wrong. Highest is the 3rd seed. Wait, if everybody lost and the Bills won, though, they're in the 2nd.
We're the 2nd seed, and we'd be going up against the Steelers.
Yeah. Gil, that's the highest scenario that we have with if the Bills finish 11-6. And everybody else loses. So if everybody here's the way to break it down. If everybody else loses, New England wins. New England's the number 1 seed. If everybody loses, the Bills win. Bills are the 2nd seed, hosting the 7th.
So this is probably where it gets interesting right now, because I mean we've seen the scenarios, and once again, me and you were talking about this backstage. All right, who is the team that you do not want to play in the first round?
Yeah, we talked about this, and it was funny how we both had 2 different teams. I think right now Cincinnati is one of the hottest teams in the AFC. The head coach, God, his name escapes me right now. He was a quarterback coach with Sean McVay. So you know why the Bengals are throwing the ball over the yard and some of the draft picks they made with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and all these guys, and they got Burrow. You know why they made all those decisions. I think they're the hottest team in the AFC right now. But I mean, it's kind of hit or miss. Do you want to play them because they don't have any playoff experience, or do you want to play them or do you not want to play them because they're the hottest team right now? The Buffalo Bills secondary throughout the second half of the year, not second half, since they lost Trey White, hasn't really been tested except for Tom Brady. They really haven't.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Matt Ryan tried it, didn't work. But that Cincinnati receiving core will effectively challenge your secondary, and it'll be chaotic.
Yeah. Well, luckily, like you said, it seemed that the only scenario where we do play the Bengals is pretty far-fetched from what we just ended up seeing in that simulation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be – it'd be tough for you to – second round maybe. That'd be a tough one. It all signs, like you said, point to New England in the rubber match, which could concern people because, Belichick, he's almost like the guy, fool me once, shame on you. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's one of those things. I'll never count out the hoodie, even though people want to talk about Spygate, this gate, deflate, all this other stuff. The guy can coach, and the guy knows what he's doing. So
yeah, I mean, it's the playoffs. So I mean, as much as I would love to go in there anxiety free, it's not going to happen. I mean, let's just be real with ourselves. You and I said, and so my take is that I'm kind of afraid to play the Colts. I mean, I think that I would rather play the Patriots as long as there wasn't any type of, 60-mile-an-hour winds going down in Buffalo during the time, which is also pretty interesting because, I mean, I'm just like really going down like various rabbit holes. So many people have been talking about, Josh hasn't been playing very well when it comes down into the whole home situation. But yes, he should know how to play in the weather. But this year in Buffalo, I feel like that we have had some of our worst weather days in the entire Western New York area on days that the Buffalo Bills played at home. Like, it was just absolutely atrocious with many of them.
Yeah, a lot of people have the dome versus the no dome discussion. Do you guys remember where he played at college? Like Wyoming. Can we relax a little bit? The guy's got a freaking cannon that can cut through like butter. Like if everything was going, but that's the thing that bothers me about it. The Buffalo Bills, obviously, everyone knows they're built as a pass team. You got Diggs, Davis, Beasley, Sanders, Knox. You got all these guys that catch the ball out of the backfield. You got Allen with a rocket arm, probably the most dangerous dual threat quarterback that we've seen in a long time.
I agree.
So why is everyone clamoring for a dome? Well, if I look at this scenario currently on the board, none of these teams are dome teams.
Zero.
You know what I mean? Like when Dan had the graphic up, I had the playoff picture up there. None of these teams are dome teams. Indy is the only team, and guess what? They're the one with the running game.
Right? It's insane.
Think of that one right there. But it's like I never thought you had a game where you had 50-mile-an-hour winds, and Allen still threw 30 times, and it was pretty effective much of the time. I don't think it's a good weather, bad weather game. People remember at the beginning of the year, people were like, Allen can't play with fans in the stands. Like people are just reaching for everything to try to say that this kid can't play because they know the knuckle sandwich of 17 coming around the corner. That is what's going to be happening for the next decade in Buffalo, and people got to get used to it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that he'll definitely improve. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's so obsessed with putting on a show for the home crowd of Buffalo that he tends to make a bit more mistakes than he does when he's on the road because he just doesn't care. Like when he's on the road, he's like, okay, these guys are booing me. I can focus. Like I'm not really concerned about any like massive plays or anything along those lines. So it's good. But I mean, honestly, I would be nervous about the Colts. I think I would rather play the Patriots just because I feel like our team is built to beat other teams in the division. That's how we draft. That's how we should draft. Just the walloping that the Colts put on us. It's pretty damn hard, man, but
you know what's crazy though, Dan, about that is that I went, I'm a nut when it comes to football history. There are a lot of teams. If you look back at the past 15, 20 years that have taken beatings from teams throughout the season. And then they meet in the playoffs and the team that lost about 65, 70% of the time wins. And that's because that other team will go in there with such confidence that they can already beat this team. They start looking to the next level and they forget to take care of the game at hand. And I think what you have a lot of mentally tough teams in the playoffs this year. I don't know if that'll happen, but the point is there's a history of that happening. So do I think the Bills get blown out by Indy? No, the Bills beat Indy in the playoffs last year.
You're right.
I mean, people seem to forget that they do have that experience, and it was at home in horrible weather. So, it is what it is. I would be fearful just because it was such a lopsided loss for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see what's going on. I mean, we definitely need to take care of business against the New Jersey Jets, which, by the way, you saw that. I
saw that. It was hysterical.
And the lawsuit that somebody dropped on him. And everything
they dropped a lawsuit on him?
Well, somebody was a troll, and somebody filed a lawsuit against the Jets and the Giants for giving shame to the state of New York by having New York in their team's name. It's hysterical. It's on Twitter somewhere. Absolutely hysterical. But yeah, so Mario, thank you so much for coming on, man. Like I said, no longer editing, and now I'm just doing these short little live streams, having some good conversations, talk a little bit about football. Go Bills. I mean, why don't you go ahead and let everyone know what's going on your channel? I know that you did right at the beginning, but might as well go ahead and do that again.
Absolutely. We have a new Twitter handle for y'all that want to follow us on Twitter. It's hashtag 2.0. We're the little brother of good old Dan Mitchell over here. We're just a small time Bills station on YouTube, guys. So just give us a follow on YouTube. We have our Friday night tailgate. We have our Joe calls the game play-by-play. If you want to check out the play-by-play, most of you probably check out Dan's, but then we have post game right after. So if you want to come and see two Yahoos joke around about the Bills and give you an objective take, on what the Buffalo Bills did, what they have to do moving forward. And more than likely, as Dan and I talked about, they're probably going to be seeing the New England Patriots for a third time this year at home. So, this is all new territory for all of us. 18 games in a season. We're not sure how it's going to shape out, but it's looking to be an exciting week 18. Dan, I can't wait to see you do the play-by-play and have fun tonight on the roundtable, brother.
Yeah, man, most definitely. Speaking of the roundtable, guys, I ended up pinning that comment. That's going to be the video. So do me a favor and make sure that your post notifications are on. We're going live at 9:30. I expect a big showing from Bills Mafia because we got a lot of shit to talk, baby.
Take it easy, Dan. Thanks, brother.
All right, y'all. See y'all.